two faulty Harrier CB X bought from eBay. Will they work? Let's find out. So here we have the parcel that was sent to me. Looks like we've got two microphones. We'll have a look at those later. And here we have two radios. Both Harrier CB X's. Both listed as faulty with definite faults on them. And they've been kind enough to label the faults for us. What have we got there? This one says works, but there's a receive problem. Doesn't look in too bad condition. And the second one has got dead written on it. So this is the one we're going to be looking at today. I'm sure with a bit of a clean up this will look a little bit better. So let's take a look around the radio. It's definitely had a hard life. Power socket's loose. Some strange silver contraption hanging out of the back. Not sure what that's all about. Maybe it's some earth point. Anyway, let's get it open and have a look inside. Nice to see all the screws are in place, none missing. Well, for a start, doesn't look too bad. Looks like there's been work around the audio IC and some strange relay. Okay, interesting. I'll have to investigate what that's all about. But apart from that, initial impression, everything looks okay on the top. Seems to be a lot of extra wires on the top though. And underneath. And what do we have here? This looks like a Tonks mid-band board. Very nice. This wasn't listed as having mid-band. So that's a win. And there seems to be a micro switch glued inside. And there seems to be another micro switch at the back. And there's the relay module as well. All very interesting. And down by the back of the power amp we have another blob of something. So it looks like that micro switch is activated from the metal thing at the back. So I'm thinking it's some sort of protection circuit that only enables the mid-band when you've got something plugged into the rear. It seems to be a lot of work though for trying to conceal mid-band. Anyway, let's power it on, and it's not dead, which is nice. So considering it was listed as being dead, that's a win to start off with. So I'm happy with that. So the question is does it actually do something else? Does it actually work? And how do we get to the midband? So we seem to be receiving something. That's good. Let's try a transmit. And we don't seem to be transmitting. A nice receive from the other radio. But we don't seem to be transmitting. So maybe we have a fault. Still can't figure out how to get onto midband. Anyway, there's our first issue. We don't seem to have any VCO lock on transmit. But that's an easy fix. Luckily our Tonks board tells us when the VCO is locked. So let's go to the VCO test point, and sure enough on transmit, up at 6.3 volts, far too high. So let's adjust the trimmer. Just move this midband board out of the way. Give it a transmit. There, just a tiny adjustment. Now I can hear it on my other radio. So that's fixed that little problem. You can see the LED lights up on transmit and receive now. So that means we have VCO lock. And the question is what to do with all this other stuff. And how do we enable midband? So first off, let's have a look at this blob that's in the back of the radio. So somebody's gone to a lot of time and effort in doing this. Looks like there's a capacitor on there of some variety. But whatever that glue is, it's really, really hard. It all seems to be connected to the switches and that relay. There's a close-up of the board. Does look like a piece of aero board. This has got to be the strangest thing I've ever seen inside a radio. So it looks like part of the midband circuit is going to the delta tune switch. and it looks like it's going to this relay. So I think we should at least try and get it working before we tear it out. Try and put this radio back to some form of normality. Seems that the wires to the Tonks board are drifting off towards that relay. And part of it's drifting off towards the Delta Tune switch. Yeah, so there's channel 1. Have to keep it on high power for the moment. Just having a little bit of trouble getting a reading from the counter. There we go, back on channel 1. I'm still on channel 1 UK FM. And still on channel 1. And I heard a click. No, still on channel 1. And we're still on channel 1. So it must be a combination of these micro switches. And we're still on channel 1. I just heard a change in the receive, and there we go, there's channel 1 midband. So it does look like something has to be pushed into the rear. And it seems to have been wired up very strangely on the Delta Tune, because it seems to be the plus on the Delta Tune that takes you onto midband. And there's 27405. So that's channel 40. That's channel 1 UK FM again. And you can hear a click. And there it is. So that's working nicely. So that's it for part 1. In part 2, we're going to attempt to remove this modification and put it back to some normality. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.